All right, and welcome to my whiskey den. We're happy to have you back. We all have our wigs back on, and that's because by our ginger
powers combined,
we summon Ichor. Ichor?
Ichor.
Is that how you say it? I don't know.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3.
Do we know, is it Ichor because their name is licorice?
I thought it was Ichor because it was off of like Icarus, but
you're the big Roman and Greek
anyone can do that.
It's like that's what they call the blood of the gods.
Well, we'll take it. I mean, it is darker than the other ones. This is almost like a yellow, brown, kind of red kind of color compared to the other one. This is deep and rich, so we'll call it the blood of the gods.
It tastes like it should be.
It is, and it smells like it too. It smells exciting. But Benjamin's the one who got the black bottle, so why don't you jump into a little description of what this is from them?
All right, this is their 5-year anniversary release. That was 3 different barrels, consisting primarily of yellow corn. One of the barrels has some bloody butcher corn. I think there's some purple corn in there, and then one of the barrels had some rye. And there was, I think, the youngest barrel of the batch was aged for 48 months, and 1 or 2 of them might be a little bit older, as a matter of fact. So they blended those together, released them for their 5-year anniversary back in, I think that was in November last year, and it's a freaking fantastic whiskey. I'll say that right now.
It's hard to brush your hair when you're actually looking at the camera. I was like making it worse, bringing it right in front of my eyes there for a second. And I got to compliment Ben. I mean, you do look like the girl from The Fifth Element with that hair. You're looking good with it.
Multi-pass.
And I'm sure there's going to be a couple people out there that kind of go after us after I misnamed it or was unsure of it. There's going to be a couple Boomhauer sounding Texans kind of coming over me going, that's not how you say the damn name now, is it? You get that wrong again. So I'll probably be getting in trouble for that, but I'll take one for the team. So, but yeah, to this 5-year anniversary of Ironroot, it is like, it's a red to the amber. Like it is really interesting. It's
it's everything.
I'm spinning it, and it holds up there. It actually comes down pretty quick comparatively, or maybe I just swirled really high and it's way up there. But it is got some decent legs on it. It comes down pretty quick, but the aroma on the glass is just nice. It's not overpowering. There's no ethanol in it like that.
That's 123 proof.
That's what I was going to say. 61.5. It is. Yeah. It's up there.
And I can get my nose way down in that glass and pull a lot of sweetness up off the nose.
It's the nose is just sweet and dense. A little bit of earthiness to it. Corn and molasses. I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, brown sugar and caramel notes.
Yeah,
and it's rich, earthy.
A little bit
of tea.
Black tea, I'd say that for sure on there. Light citrus, not a lot. Just there's like a hint of it, just like a little spunk or spark of that. But yeah, you can get in there deep and just pull some wonderful flavors all the way in. Maybe I'm getting a little buzzed off of huffing the whiskey lately, but man, when you can get that close, I mean, there's some stuff that's like 45 and you're like this far away and you're like, oof.
I know.
Yeah.
I would love to just get a lot deeper into this glass and just get really close to it.
And like a baking spice in there. like a molasses cookie.
Yeah.
Like that's like I'm getting like a half baked or just out of the oven molasses cookie with a little bit of like that sugar on the top of it.
Yeah, I get a little bit of a almost like a fresh cake out of the oven, like you were saying, but it's like a cookie or a cake with some fruit, strawberries, maybe a little blueberry even.
I'm getting almost like a darker plum note. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this one. And with and it is significantly, like I said, significantly darker. I thought it was, I didn't want to go off it because the last time I went off a dark bottle, I made a misjudgment. So I wanted to see it, but this is significantly darker than the other one. So I feel like the barrels kind of really sucked up some of what it was in.
And I'll go ahead and say anybody that can get a hold of a bottle, which I know they're sold out. Maybe you got a friend you can bum one off of, or maybe you've got one and you haven't opened it yet. This is a whiskey you want to pour and you want to spend some time with, because it really evolves in the glass as it oxidizes, and just take a good 30 or 45 minutes because the notes are going to constantly change and evolve.
Okay, this is not the same ride as Icarus was as far as flavor. I mean, obviously flavor profile, but this is very, very similar, where there's a lot of notes that come up to like a mid-range. Nothing gets spiky at me just on that first drink. And it is a long ride where stuff is happening. Like there is, I got to go back for a second. It's always good to be like kind of stunned on the first sip.
It's not like a comparative proof like a Booker's. A Booker's is a huge kick right in your teeth, and it's everything just up front and intense, and it's good, and there's nothing wrong with it. This has that proof, but it's not the kick in the mouth. It is. No. It's a subtle slide, and how the flavors go through you.
I think you get the kick about a half or 2/3 of the way through. Like you feel the heat kind of kick up at that point, but it's not right away. Where like at a Booker's, it's like right up front. It's like, oh, you take one and you're like, what the hell happened? Like what happened like right off the bat with it. Where this one, it's like you're in and you're halfway through and it's like, oh. And it's not heavy, but it's just where you can kind of feel it build up for a second and then it fades away. That ginger hair flip was nice. I might try that again later. You might have to slap me around some more. I'll have to switch to a Booker's.
Put the leather on.
Keep it out of the nose. It's a fresh bakery.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It is.
Molasses, like a molasses cookie, but Ben's right. It has more of like it tastes like a molasses cookie, but it almost, the mouth feels more like a cake, like it's silkier, like it's smoother. I know people hate that word, but that's too bad.
No, it's a pretty silky mouthfeel to it. Because it gets I get the little bit of the dryness when the air hits it, and then it's not so much of the salivating that I've gotten from a lot of their other whiskeys, but it is just like I feel an oil coating that comes up.
Wow.
For me, the thing I'm impressed with, because before I ever got into whiskeys, I was into wine quite a good bit, and the structure of this, the mouthfeel of it, it reminds me of a really good Bordeaux. It's got that, got a good, strong tannic structure to it. It's just rich. It's velvety. It's amazing.
The aftertaste kind of, I can get that kind of Bordeaux wine aftertaste kind of thing like you're talking about, where you get that feel to it, or it's tannic, but it's not really as woody as I think when people say tannic, they think like that crappy wood note sometimes, and that is not what we're talking about.
No, this is like brilliantly structured red wine. Yeah, in that sense.
I mean, dare we say, because it's the Licorice Brothers, a little bit of a brandy mouthfeel to it.
I can see that. Yeah. I don't think that's bad to say. I don't know. I would agree with that.
I don't mean that in any bad way whatsoever.
No. And quite honestly, for a Texas whiskey that has spent minimum 4 years in a barrel, you would expect this to be tremendously oaky or just way over oaked. and it's nothing like that. Nothing like
no, like the oak is in there a little bit, but it's almost. I think that's where I'm getting like where I feel like there's a spice note is from the oak. Like there's like a minimal titch of rye, like 5% in one barrel. So that's where I'm equating like some of that to. But what it's pulling from it, I wish we'd know. And once again, one of these things you should have done the review after we talked to him or long before. But I'd almost lean towards these being one of them being the Hungarian oak that they use, or a European oak, because you're getting more of the spice out of it than you are the sweetness, because there's more than enough sweetness from the corn. But it is a molassesy caramel, little bit of like a light little vanilla in there. I always forget vanilla and caramel in a lot of bourbons and corns and stuff. But it's not like overly sugared for being all corn. Like sometimes you get like corns and it's like this overly sugared corn, and it's like a dense, like almost ridiculous frosting that's layering it. That's not there. This just is like someone sprinkled some sugar on top of a cookie.
Yeah, there's a lot of good fruit notes in here too. Almost like a fruit jam, and I almost get a little bit of a dark, like a blackberry.
That was kind of probably that darker fruit note I was going plum. It does taste more like a blackberry in here, because I'm not getting like a raspberry note, but it is like a little richer and deeper fruit note.
Yeah.
There's some tobacco in there too, a nice tobacco leaf note, kind of on the back end a little bit.
This is a nice ride. This is really nice.
Yeah. A little splash of water is just what it does for the change. And I wouldn't say it makes the whiskey any better or any worse, but the flavor ride is really nice.
Okay. I did like 3 little drops, so we'll see what happens here with a little bit of water. I almost say it flattens out on the nose a little bit, but I don't know if it's as flat as I would say less dense, because the nose right away is a very dense thing you're trying to sniff through. That's why it was neat to kind of stick your nose in there. I was like, what's underneath here? What can I get to?
No, I think it really it opened up the nose a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting more. The sugar notes of the corn, I think, are coming out more now.
Yep, I'm getting more of the corn, and I'm getting a little bit of tobacco on the nose as well.
More tobacco.
Yep, I was gonna say more tobacco. You're right on that. Less of the molasses. Like the molasses got toned down quite a bit for me.
Yeah,
it's in there, but the other notes come much more prominent with that. So. Whoa. Tobacco note was much more prominent on the tail end of this for me. Maybe it's because I coughed. But I got a lot more of that across my tongue, like 2/3 of the way in, because the tobacco note opened up quite a bit more. The molasses and corn not there as much as, or molasses and kind of caramely one not as much, just with a couple drops.
I'm getting a little bit of mint and licorice on the back end. To me, it kind of brought the rye out a little bit more. I wasn't hardly really noticing anything specific that I would say was rye until just now, adding that water. I've got a little bit of a mint and just a hint of licorice coming out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I get a little bit more of that anise black licorice flavor on the tail end of it now too, where it's finishing that way. Not say that was like 2/3 of the way when I got the spice kind of pickup. That's a really neat change. Just with a couple of drops. For me, I know I had a video a long time ago where I did Abalur Abana, and I was like, that was one of the first ones where I started, like it was cast strength, where you started to add water, where I was like, look at the world of change that can happen. That was pretty significant from just two or three drops in a glass.
Yeah. So
this might be another one where if you are lucky enough to steal one from your friend, that you can play with it a little bit, but just coming out cast strength, I think that's enjoyable enough to just drink the way it is. But I said, if you get a little bit to play with, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Water did not hurt that at all. That
Mm-mm.
just took you on a different journey.
Yeah, really different notes in that. That's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad we haven't found anything so far that I don't have to complain about anything so far that we've tasted. I mean,
No.
the hubris was, I would lean towards the weakest so far, but that's just because everything else was a little bit more heavy in the notes. You know, like a little bit richer, thicker, deeper tones to it, but that was still good. But this is really nice. And if someone told me this was all just corn and not only 5%, which is probably maybe 1.5% out of the 3 barrels rye, I would totally not believe you, because that comes through much more prominent than what I would expect for that little amount of it. I also wouldn't think this is all just corn, because there's some like at cast strength, there's like almost like a little chocolate maltiness with the molasses that I would sometimes equate to like like a malted barley, that's not in here at all.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pulling some unique flavors out of what they're using. That's all I gotta say. And the blending and their techniques that they're using to blend them to, and not just have kind of that spike drop off at the end where they're adding water a little bit earlier and trying to measure the proofs at an earlier stage to get them right, is really turning out some really nice stuff with nice barrel notes, but nothing that's ridiculous or over the top in a barrel note. Like you said, 5 years on probably 2 of these, and there's plenty of things that are 3 years that have like a much harsher barrel note, or more prominent in it. I'm impressed by I think it's the process. I think the process really is paying off. So
absolutely. There are full half dozen that I've had of the Texas whiskeys, or the different distilleries. There's a lot more craft to it. It's not just whiskey. There is a craft to what they're doing to achieve what they're doing in the climate that they're doing it, in the area that they're doing it, with what they are using. They're just doing amazing work. And it's not doing not releasing 30 different whiskeys. We have these, they all have this, but there's not a lot of variance in the recipe on a lot of these. It's just, well, here's what you can do by doing this with heirlooms. This is what we can do with this. Well, this is what we're doing because we're using a much larger barrel, and we're trying to fight with the angel share and fight with the climate and try to get a better result. And it's working.
And I think their use of some of the European oaks is paying off for what they're doing. I mean, virgin or non-virgin, with what they're putting it in. I think that's the percentages, like 30-40% in some of the barrels, not necessarily all of them, is really playing a nice factor here that I don't always get from everyone else. So,
right.
Hold on, I gotta tip up my glass just so we can say goodbye. So I'm not gonna have a problem with that. I just gotta grab a little. You can't toast people and leave without having something in your glass. So I don't know. We have one more to go, so stop back for the next one here. It'll probably come out in a day or two. Ooh, and Sunday night, the 15th, we're going to be having Josh Galladay on from Ironroot to kind of finish off Ironroot week. One of these reviews might come out after, just because, but definitely stop in for that, because we're going to talk to him about how he kind of became a sales rep or a brand ambassador, whatever you want to call it, for Ironroot, and what that job entails. Because everyone just thinks it's easy to go to some place and pour whiskey for people, and it's actually a lot more knowledge, and I think you have to try to control a lot of situations that are going on, and also try to appease a lot of people. And there could be some neat ways to do that, or some stories as to how that might not have gone right once or twice too. Kind of that learning system, but definitely stop in for that. I'll put the link up over above Ben's head. I got to get used to this inverted stuff. I'm not the best at it. Over there, over Ben's head. See, you're on the wrong side, Ben. It's getting you too. But stop in for that. I was going to say, because that'll be an interesting talk on Sunday, and the Galladays are always great people to talk to. So I think on that note, we're going to end it. And too bad we don't have the rings. Next time we review Ironroot, we'll try to have some Ironroot rings. So when we summon a bottle, it will. Oh, there it is. It'll actually be a little more legit. Hey, man.
Hey.
See, now you just look like you're. I can't even go there. I can't even go there. I don't want to get in trouble.
Ginger.
Yeah, I don't want to go there with what it looks like you're doing. You know, you do that on your own time at a hotel. If people pay for it, they pay for it. But from our den to yours, remember, it's not the size of the den that matters. It's the love of the whiskey. Cheers, everyone out there.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. Let's get some more. Clap your hands. Some more. Just give some more.